Hello, good afternoon. Are you muted? Because I cannot hear you.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. I was just trying to make sure that we are live. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's stream. We have an amazing guest today, and we're going to be discussing about the good stuff, how they achieve the level of impact, attempt your potential, and what is at the end of that, right? The real nitty gritty, the challenges it takes to go through it as Africans, and we just don't have African audience, right? As Europeans, anywhere you are, anywhere residing from the part of the world. But we're going to be, we have amazing Ayodeji here. I'm going to just quickly read his bio, but he will tell us about all the amazing things he has built, his lessons, the lessons he has learned, what he thinks you should do with not with your life, with your potential. Because I think we all know that there are possibilities in us, but like hopefully he gives us some frameworks, some things we should start doing from today. Because I'm an advocate for action. What should I do today? What should I do now to set me on the trajectory to where I would like to see myself? So I'll quickly pull up Ayadeji's bio, just for the work. Some people like, people's experience. But this is not his CV. I'm sure this is not half of his CV. But Deji is a co-founder and a CEO at Bisplex Africa, leveraging over 12 years of diverse experience across both financial and tech sector. At the Bank of Industry, he was instrumental in contributing to 11 projects and orchestrating programs for banks and SMEs. His role at Jobberman involves cultivating pivotal partnerships with esteemed financial brands such as FCMB, Sterling Bank, and First Bank. As a co-founder at Errand360.ng, Nigeria's pioneering 100% eco-friendly logistics company, utilizing bicycles for delivery, leading a dedicated team of over 35 staff members and collaborating closely with co-founders. The operation expands across Lagos, Oyo, and Abuja, engaging more than 350 bicycle riders. And CC Hub. Let's give a warm welcome to Ayodeji by gracing us. Co-founders are very particular about their time, right? Let's give a warm welcome to him. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ayodeji. Thank you for coming and gracing us with your presence. I know we've read your bio, right? But is there anything on this bio that you would also want us to know about you?
Well, I mean, bios are bios, right? I mean, they are just a there for people to read. But in the eventualities, when people meet you, they tend to do that via one thing or the other. Maybe a project you've done before. I mean, there are some things I've done that I don't really put on my bio. I'm not sure it's necessary. Not everything should be put out there.
I totally agree with you. There are some things that are just for the teams that you met on that team.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. I'm just going to kick off with like my first question, right? And we can dive into some other things from there. And if we have questions, people can also use the chat box, and we'll put that up for you. One thing I appreciated about your bio is that it gave me a view as to all the different organizations that you have worked in, right? So
Mm.
working as part of like big institutions and working at a startup, right? Where do you think change is, harder to think change is more difficult? Or where even attaining change would give you more fulfillment? Where do you think that is?
I mean, so if you join a corporation, or an already existing multinational, you barely can do anything about their system. It's already set in stone, right? Like, so you just have to find a place to plug yourself in and do as much change as you can. But I would say do as much learning as you can. Because if you have a mindset of eventually venturing out, it is all the learnings, all the networking, and all the skills that you acquire, and all the big project you did that will stand and speak on your behalf. You can really not change anything about. For example, what am I going to change in BI? There are, if you look at their departments, you will be shocked. I mean, there was the day I walked into the operations unit and I saw close to 150 people. I'm like, whoa, just one department. I'm like, what am I going to do with these people? So you can't really do so much in terms of structural change. What you can do is how you carry out your own task. You know, what you are able to achieve on those particular projects. That is what will stand for you. And that is how you can take whatever you've learned. I mean, you can easily make changes when you are maybe in a startup, or you are in a smaller business or an SME or a thriving business. Your ideas, your experience, your skill set are still valid, and it will come handy for them. But in a structured business, you can't do really so much.
And this brings me to my next question around the debate about people starting up, right? What with the tech skills this database as a startup. And most times I just keep on wondering like what are we all working on, right? What do you think and the problems of Nigeria are still there, problems of Africa is still there, like
Yeah.
what's all these whole startups, right? What do you really think that someone who is interested in tech, right? How do you approach this? Should they join corporation or should they try to work in a small scale startup? Considering that you're interested in like making impact, I think that's the word. Where how should you approach it, especially in terms of career?
I mean, everybody has been interested in tech since it became, the next best thing after sliced bread. It used to be sliced bread, but now it's tech, right? So I feel like it's just the interest or the PR. They say lion has a better PR than the tiger, even though the tiger is more rugged than the lion. So the tech industry has a lot more PR. People talk about it a lot more. It's in every news. The government is investing into it. So
Okay, I think this network is off. Okay, the network. Welcome to Nigeria. This is Nigeria. I think we're getting used to this. I think one thing I appreciated about what he shared in his first point is that the purpose of joining corporation is for the learning and the network, right? And yes, you can make considerable change at your startup, at any startup you join. Hi, Ayodeji, can you hear us? Are you back? Okay. I had to fix his network. I think he's fixing his network. Hopefully we have him back soon. But I just give us what the purpose of corporation, what corporations are meant for, and how they can help you with your career and how and or the perspective you need to have about corporations when you are joining them. They are typically for learning and for networking, and most times the projects and the ideas you work on in those corporations are what will, if you are starting back. Okay, okay. Let us know where you are joining us from. Okay, I think Ayodeji is back. Hi, Ayodeji.
hi.
Okay,
Yeah, it
yes.
just breaks off and then comes back. I couldn't hear you, so I had to just refresh my page.
Yes, I think the network dropped off a bit, and but you're back
I
now.
figured. Okay.
Yes. So you were
So
speaking on how tech has better PR.
yeah, the PR and all of that. So it's become a thing where everybody now flogs into. So there is a lot of opportunity in the tech space, no doubt. Like there's so much you can do in that space that there are some job titles we never knew of 20 years ago. And right now, there are hundreds of them. Like people literally don't even go to the office anymore. They sit down at home and they are doing well. I mean, I don't think anything is wrong with that. There are freelancers, there are remote workers, there are virtual assistants, there are people doing real work, for people that require real skill sets. Now it's about what skill you have. It's not just being able to present a good CV and pass the interview. Before it used to be something like that. Get a good degree, good CV, understand how to ace your interview, then get the job, and then they will now teach you what to do on the job. But now, no. It is what can you do? What have you done before? I don't care about your degree. What have you done before? Let me see your work. And it's that work that I use to give you a project. That's why the gig economy has become so much celebrated because tech has enabled Nigerians, Africans to work for people outside of the country, outside of the continent, and within the continent because people now have a need to do some tasks. And now they have figured that there is a global talent pool that is filled with a lot of young people with skill set. So yes, there is a big and wide gap opportunity for anyone who wants to get into tech. Just get the right skill set. And there are plenty schools that are offering opportunities for you to learn. You can learn some skill sets in 6 months, in 9 months, and you are able to get a job remotely with a brand and you can leave your old job and you are all right. But so people need to be able to sacrifice their time, their money, get the required skill set, be visible, on platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, and whatever, X, so that people can see the value you can add to their business and they can bring your point. So anyone wanting to jump into tech right now, they need to understand that there's a sacrifice that goes with it. And it doesn't mean you will start earning 100,000 a year. I mean dollars, because people hear all that fiction number and then they think, oh wow, this is how I'm going to become rich. Yes, 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 you can. But you need to also learn. You need to also put in the time and effort. That's how you go through that process.
So much things which I was trying to recap when you dropped off, which is the mindset to join a corporation, which is a learning and a networking environment. Yes, whilst for some
Mm-hmm.
startup you will have flexibility. I also touched on where the tech sector has gotten, but like how it has also opened up, opportunities like the gig economy and how work is now based on projects and a relevant skill set. So I think this is a new way of thinking. It's not just about the experience, it's about the skills you have and the projects that you have worked on.
Sure.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. The other question I had is that a lot of people say they want to make impact or change the world. I call it change the world. Or make most science, what they really want is recognition, right? And we also live in a space where social media it feels like the default, right? Everybody, and when you see the glamour, and yes, like you talked about, the PR tech sector has gotten, and the other flashy lifestyles that go along with it. How can people differentiate when they are making impact or when they are changing their society versus when they are just building for applause? I also think like when I listen to some of the Y Combinator pitches, I watch those things for fun. I'm like, this is just something you are building to raise fund. I don't think it's a solution here, but maybe I'm not the best person. That's why I'm not on the panel. But right, how can people make that distinction? When you are building just for hype, for lifestyle, yes, you raise funds, or when you are really genuinely building to, make impact.
So there is a difference between being realistic and being delusional, right? And then they say that to do some things in the tech world, you might need a bit of delusion and a bit of reality, a mix of both to be able to do anything meaningful. You know why? There are some things you do that if you tell somebody that's what you're doing, they will think you're a foolish person, right? And it will sound ridiculous. Can I give you an example? When we decided to go into bicycle delivery, it felt foolish, right? When we tell people that, oh, want to use bicycle, they're like, are you serious? You won't do anything. Nobody will do that. I mean, I'm telling you, brands literally told us this will not work. Like they said, it will not work. that we're going to spill their food. Like, no way will they allow bicycles to carry their food. And 5 years down the line, these same organizations have bicycles parked in front of their every store. They are now paying big money to get those bicycles to do their delivery because they now found out it is cheaper. It took a lot of work for us to establish, that validation to make people actually believe that it is a possibility. I mean, we went for tests and they will say, oh, wow, my pizza will spill. I won't mention their name, right? And they are using bicycles now. That's all they use because it's now more affordable. So there are things that you would do that it will sound ridiculous at the first listen, right? And then eventually, when you deep it, there is a value chain that you are able to bring in. It might just require a lot more skill that you are able to deliver at that point. So you see, sometimes first mover is not always an advantage. You might most likely be the sacrificial lamb because you are the testing ground for every other person to learn. I kid you not. Many of the brands now literally spoke to us at the beginning. I mean, there were brands that we worked with, several of them, the bigger brands, Jumia Food, Gokada, Bold Food, which one have you? Glovo. Like most of them, we worked with them. I mean, Glovo, their initial deliveries was done by us when they came into Lagos and Ibadan, right? So we had established relationship with many of them at that beginning. It was difficult to do. So it looked like all the lessons we gave them is what many of them were able to use to refine the glitchy, so many issues. So, I mean, you are right. Some people just pitch to raise money. But like I said, in that tech space, there's a bit of delusion and a bit of reality. When you watch so much Hollywood movies and they're always changing the world in the movies, even though it's in San Francisco, they're changing the world, but it's the world to them. It's why something I say, you people are just very funny. You are doing something in Alabama, which is fine. Change Alabama. You're not changing the world. But because of the reach that some of these products get, you can say they are changing the world. Look at Facebook for that matter. It changed the world, literally, because its product left Harvard and went into the US market and went into the world. You get? So it went, so distribution is a factor you want to consider when you say changing the world. There are some products that will not leave the US market, but they are big products. They are massive products, but they will not leave that market, right? But there are some products that once you start, they go into the world and they literally change the world. So I will tell people, I mean, have your ideas, have a value-backed solution. You can change the world if it happens to work. It can work and you might not change any world. You could have solved the problem of your community, which is very, very, very important. Solving the community problem is also as important as changing the world entirely because your community is a world in itself. If you can solve their problem, then you have solved a meaningful problem. But there is the school of thoughts that say think big, right? So everybody projects the bigger, the better. And of course, they make it look larger than life so that they feel, oh, yeah, we're doing this, we understand this. And if your ideas were going to change the world, you wouldn't move from one product to the other. These products, they fail at some point and you have to do something else. I mean, I've done some projects that failed before. Some have done it to a good level, it became successful, and then it didn't become, it wasn't successful again. I had to pivot. It takes a wise person to know when to leave. If you stay so long, you are going to go down and you're going to go down with the product itself. You go down the drain and then you require a lot of work to get yourself back up. So, but then in the eventualities, I believe adding value to whoever comes across your product is just the best explanation to how you can change the world. I would say changing the world one customer at a time.
Like that. I like that. Changing the world one customer at a time. One customer at a time. Thank you so much. I think there's one thing I want to take away from what you said. To do anything that will change our world, our society, or even our community, you require a little bit of delusion. The quantity is now what we can't determine, but like you require a little bit of delusion. And then if you also want to reach more people, and if you think the product will benefit more people, you need to also consider distribution. It's a critical factor. How do you get the product across market? And I think that's also why some of these Oh no. I think
Oh,
okay.
it's okay.
I because we are using a phone, I think Guinea also mentioned that to me that it kind of lags and drops off. Hopefully that
Yeah,
doesn't happen again.
yeah, it
Um,
drops off.
so I was going to ask you about knowing when to leave a product pivot because I watch it sometimes. How Elon Musk, he was down on his last dollar, he put in all his investment, and now see where Tesla is. But
He's a
how
crazy
do
person.
you know? We are all not Elon Musk, right? And people like talk about how he borrowed, how his friends borrowed. The more you listen to that, the more you're like, okay, maybe one more shot, maybe one more quarter, maybe I should keep on going. How do you know? Is this an instinct thing or is it a data thing? How do you know when to pivot?
So sometimes is a reality thing, you know. So let me give you a funny analogy. See, the way they build outside of our continents and here is different, right? You can see someone go and say, "Oh, I just started this AI product or this product and I've raised X amount. Oh, I got this interest from Silicon Valley." You raise money. There are some VCs or people that will give you money to test your product. You can't have that kind of money in this, in the continents. They won't. Nobody gives you that kind of money. They want you to do the product. You most likely are already running a business before you get some form of investment from people, maybe your relationships. It doesn't work that way across the border. You get some, trust equity. You've done it before. So some people still trust you to do it again, even if you lose all the money. So sometimes you have a better leverage over there than what we have in the continent, right? Now, in let me talk about the African space. If you are losing people's money and you're not making any headway, you need to understand survival. See, if your wrong way finishes, your business will die. As easy as that. If your business is requires continuous spending before it starts gaining traction, it will die. It's why people say, pivot, do like an MVP, something small, test it, smaller markets, right? See if there is how do I call it? Some sort of validation in that space. Then scale gradually. Oh, this is my market. Can I get more customers to keep using it? Am I making money enough to run the business? Some business might do 2 years without making enough revenue to cover the operations. And that's what happens in most of the tech companies that we have in the continent. They require investment, investment to sustain them. Now, when to pivot, you will look at your numbers. If you say, oh, if I get XYZ customer, I should have XYZ million in revenue. I should have made X% in profits. But then you're looking at your dashboard and the what you projected for a year, right? Or what you projected for a month, you don't even have it in a year in terms of revenue that came through, and you are spending money. You are going to run out of money if you don't get investments, and you are going to kill the business. So smart people decide, can I partner with similar business, right? Oh, can I get somebody else to put in, do this with me? Oh, can I share this load? If we cannot do it, what can we do? Can we shut it down, and go and do something else? It might look like, oh, they are not trying. No, they have tried as much as possible. They are spending their money and they are spending other people's money. I have moved from product to product with my team because we realized this was not going the way it should be going. Good products, good idea, solving things in the educational sector, but the adoption wasn't as exponential as we expected it to be. Even the ones that came in, they were very slow to interact with and were burning money. There were stars, office space, so many things to pay for, and then it becomes an issue. So you have to find something else that can give you a faster number that is more attractive to people that can grow a lot faster. You want to eventually start making money. If you're not making any money, you need to find a way to pivot. Except you have a good backing. With a good backing, you can do a lot more. But if you don't have, you might need to think otherwise. People so don't get caught up in the delusion of, oh, we can burn it all and I can get it again. That's why I said don't watch too many analogies or YouTube series about these tech boys that just did something with this and then they got this and that. It doesn't all happen that way. There's a 19-year-old guy that got funding and recently moved to Lagos. And people were complaining that they are doing exactly that same thing that he's doing, but he has gotten money and they don't even have enough traction. But they have more traction. And so it's funny. I'm like, see, you're not in the same climb with him. Don't put yourself in the same boat. So you don't want to burn yourself all the way and compare yourself with someone else that has gotten some backing. With enough backing, many of us can do a lot more. But then backing comes with relationship that you have built over the years. Backing comes with the kind of room you enter. Backing comes with the kind of things you are selling and how you sell it. Backing comes in the kind of how do I put that thing? It's not only passion, it's not only drive. Sometimes there's a grace factor, and it does a lot for you. So a lot of things come together. Some of us that are faith entrepreneurs, we believe that okay, well, there's also the space for grace that can allow you meet some certain people that can be interested in what you are building, and then they back you. Many of the business that have success today, they met somebody and then they backed them. I saw a video where the founder of Money Point was talking about them meeting Jim Ovia, and he invested the total amount of money they were looking for in a particular round. He said that kind of meeting, that is not an instant. It's not a what do they call that thing? A coincidence. No, it wasn't. They had track record. He was looking for something. They had what he was looking for, and then they met, and that was it. Now imagine what I did for them. It skyrocketed them for a while till they could build more. You see, when you are backed, you are more relaxed, you can build better. Hmm? You are not chasing salary every uh, third week of the month. You are running about looking for money to pay salary. No, it's already sorted. Yeah, you can build with sense. You can really understand the product and sell properly. So that's why it's important to know that when it's not going the way you have projected or predicted or seen, find a way out so you don't burn yourself and the people that are working with you. Well, it takes one to have gotten bonds to know what I'm not. This is not even a thing of someone told me. I have gotten bonds, so I know what I'm talking about. So it's not like, oh wow, I'm just citing examples. I am the example, but it took a lot of work for us to be able to get back to where we are and be able to do what we're doing now. It's why you see my profile. You say, oh, I've done this one. Oh, I've done that. Oh, I'm not doing that. Mhm. A lot of process, a lot of work has gone in through that process. But yeah, we're here because somebody backed us.
Thank you so much, Ayodeji. I think you touched on one key thing, which maybe you can also spend time unpacking for us. While that's, I also don't know. I don't know storytelling for a Nigerian context. I don't know. I think one of these. I can't remember the person's name. Is she's also trying to implement that. I think it's one of the former ministers or something. I was talking about it on platform. Some of the success stories we've heard as Nigerians are really outside our climb. And how they tell the stories most times are out of touch with our realities. And but because we have no models, we have nobody to compare ourselves to, we have nobody to aspire, we adopt those things. And most times we burn ourselves out. There's something you touched about here is maintaining your drive and your passion, but also thinking about survival. You need to self, right? Yourself versus the product. Sometimes you need to save yourself because if you are alive, you can build another product. But some
Mm-hmm.
of the motivational stuff and the stuff they go all in their last dollar, they sell their house. But like
Oh,
this is
yeah.
Nigeria, that won't always work here. But most times we lack some of those examples.
How do I
What are
even
your
say this?
thoughts?
I think there are a few business owners or startup guys that are truthful. Many are very fictional. Like they tell only the success stories. They don't tell you when they were driving around looking for money. They don't tell you when they were almost frustrated out of their skull. They don't tell you when they literally beg people to borrow them to pay salaries. They don't tell you all that story. They just keep it and tell you you know, all of that packaging story. I'm like, that's not truthful. I mean, wherever I go, I'm like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat for you. It is a difficult process. There was a session I went for, and they were asking me to motivate the young tech startup, the student. I'm like, no, my motivation is to you that you are going to suffer. Like, if you understand that suffering is going to happen, you will think twice. You think about it again. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure this is the final thing you want to do? You want to go all the way? You are going to suffer. If you understand that, then you can. I mean, I know you are delusional enough. I know you are. Then you are realistic enough also, because you understand the risk behind what you are trying to do. Now, it doesn't mean you don't commit. It doesn't mean I can't tell you all of the sweet. I can tell you, but I need to know you are ready to jump into that deep waters. Not you start saying, "Oh wow, nobody told you anything." I'm like, I'm telling you for free now. Stay on your job if you have one, or your freelance role if you have one. But if you really want to dive into the deep waters, welcome to the club. But don't go complaining when the suffering starts. When that race doesn't happen in time. But behind all of that, there are success stories that make sense. But in my head, success stories are meant to motivate you as a person to strive ahead, to do better. It gives you more energy to go into your pitching, to go into your product building. It's not an excuse to sit down and say, "Oh, this person got this million, or I can get that million by just." No, you are going to walk the walk. There's a lot of things you need to do to get that. If I tell you how many pitch deck we sent, how many applications we wrote, how many boot camps we went to, and nothing came from every one of it, you go, "Oh wow, keep applying." Yes, that's what I tell you. But I tell people to invest more in relationships. I tell them to go out more, meet more people, know more people. One person that you didn't talk to might be the key behind whatever you want to do. And then the people you know, they are the ones that eventually might save whatever you're trying to do. So get out there. I would rather you keep going out, keep meeting people. See, you might say it's unproductive, but you need to keep doing it. It might be your best bet. Somebody can tell you, meet somebody and show, and before you know it, you have something, and someone is backing you. And of course, not just going out. You need to be able to build something that actually makes sense. Like you are solving a real problem, not just you copy the product and then you are trying to build. We are the Uber of Lagos. We are the boat of what's that? What are you building? Is it solving problems for people here? Do you have 20 people that can use your problem solution and say, okay, yes? Do you have 100? Do you have 1,000? Then you are already getting there because you are solving real life problem. Not you have built the solution and then you are looking for people with the problem. No, you're supposed to see the problem and build a solution to their problems, not build the solution and be looking for the problem. That's what we always do. We build the solution, find one, and then we are now looking for those that have that problem. How did you come about building the solution if you didn't identify the problems? So we need to get priorities right as you are building. So you build what is important and what is needed in the market. Don't get it wrong. People will still build whatever they want to build because of their skill set, but understand the responsibilities you are taking on, understand the risk, and go into it like a mature person and take whatever comes your way. And I mean, Godspeed.
Yes, thank you so much. There's something in which I think I'm going to digress from my questions and ask about it. About relationship building as someone who wants to, whether small project, whether big project, whether changing the world project. You've touched on it a couple of times and how it's important to expand your networks, build relationships. How do you think people should start, and how do you also think people should approach it? Because I think networking, there was a time it was raining, but then it just got a bad PR. Everyone, I just opened my LinkedIn today. Someone said I saw a post that was so jarring. Someone said I immediately connected with someone, and the person came to my inbox and said, "Please don't pitch me." I just
Oh
accepted a
wow.
connection request. I'm like, oh my god. She was not like, has it gotten that bad? That post has over 1,000
Yeah.
comments of people saying like, oh my god, you don't know how bad this is. So networking also has a bad
Eh?
PR, both for you that want to network,
Oh
both
yeah,
for
it
the
does.
everybody's like, can you just leave me alone? How do we approach, networking, relationship building, especially for investment or for anything, right? I also don't think investments will typically be immediate. How do we approach it?
If you go into relationship building with what you can get, you are already doing it badly. It shouldn't be about what you can get. People come into my DMs. If you come with, I want this, I'll ignore you. I won't even respond. I'll just move on. If you come back, I'll leave your message on red. I will still post the next minute. I'll leave you on red because it's selfish. You don't want to come in and say, "Oh, I want A, B, C, and D. I know you have been doing it. I also want to be like, shut up, like, go back. Whoever told you that told you nonsense. Like, it's called value addition. Relationship is typically based on the value you can give to me. If you are the ones connecting to me, you should be bringing something to me. Are you solving my own problems first before asking me to solve your own? What do you think I'm trying to do? But they don't hear that part. They just connect with you and then send you a long epistle. I would delete you or block you off. Like, what nonsense is that? You see, even in real life, when you meet people, you don't want to go with them with your problem. Identify their own. It looks like motivation, but no. Identify. If you come and solve my problem, okay, all right. Let's play this funny game. You had overheard me saying I'm hungry or I'm thirsty. I need water, and then you meet me and you hand me a bottle of water. What do you think I'll do? I'll tell you thank you, right? Oh wow, thanks, man. That's very thoughtful. And I will strike a conversation. Say, oh, I was just telling them to help me get a bottle of water. How did you get this on? Hmm? Because you just helped me. So I would be interested in talking to you because you have shown me that, oh, you can solve some of my problems. And if you are smart, you will say one or two things that you've learned about me that, oh, I saw this, so this is very good. Can I, join your team and help you with that? And then I don't find it easy to tell you no at that point, even though I don't have a need, but you feel like a valuable person. You feel like someone that might solve my problem. You feel like someone I can call at 11 p.m. and say, hey, I need to get somewhere. I can't go. Can you come? Because you are already solving. So if I see you as a solution provider to my problems, I don't think it is wise. I don't think I will be that ungrateful to not want to even hear you out when you say something or want to help you solve a problem. I will want to find a way to also repay you. That is relationship building 101. Don't go into it for what you can get. Go into it for what you can give. I'll stop it at there. When people learn how to give and not to take, relationship building will be better. Many of the deals I mentioned, they came to my DM. If I chased them, I would never get them. Both came into our DM on the day two. We started the business. Day two. Not even, we had not done anything. I'd just been posting our flyers and our bicycle. We did a photo shoot and I'd just been shouting and making noise. And they came into my DM. One of the current ministers was also in my DM. And I've known him for a while before he became a minister. And I was like, hey, I like what you're doing. What's up? Can we talk? Now, these people came because I was just pushing myself out there. And they saw that and they came in. I didn't even know how to go to their DM. So many of the deals I signed in the first 3 months of my bicycle business back then were those that came to me because they saw that I could deliver value to them. It's 101. It's easy. People just don't understand how that works. They saw that I have value. They need the value. They came to me and said, we need your value. Bring it to us. We will pay you for it. It's as easy as that. If there's a value you are offering, I will come to you. So if you're going into someone's DM, take a value proposition there, not a business proposal that gives you money or that helps you, that helps them. Help them and see if they will not help you out. They will owe you one without saying anything. But people just were just funny. We just go and say nonsense. We bastardize relationships, and that's why it's because they say, "Oh, don't pitch me." Why would I pitch you? I just say hello and I walk away from you, and that's it. I check on you once in a while. I go my way. If something happens later on, we circle back. It is not awkward anymore. I can make a request. It's like your uncle you've not spoken to in 3 years, and then you want to pay house rent and you are texting me. I'll tell you I have house rent as well.
You so much. Thank you so much. I think two key things is the mindset. You have to have the mindset to help the person, right? How does your whatever, even if you are coming with a proposal, how does it help the person? And most times, once you think about it from that person's point of view, you are going to backtrack. You are going to backtrack, right? Think about it from that mindset. Are you going to offer help to this person, or is it just a one-way thing? You just want them to help you, just want them to do this thing for you. What are they going to get in return? And then the second thing you talk about is value. Whatever interaction you have with people, you have to make sure that it's an interaction of value, not just frivolous things. And then that's also the thing, people will associate you with never ending requests of nothing that benefits me. And that's how most times people get blacklisted too. Yes. And we are human beings. The news goes around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe let's talk about Errand 360, because I am also curious about it. And I think, like, I know when some of my deliveries come and I see a bicycle, I'm like, really, who came up with this idea? I would have never thought about it, and maybe also not because I'm not in the space. But what are some of the things, so not just from the business side, from a co-founder perspective, what are some of the things that people, misunderstood in the beginning? Maybe like why you were doing it, the potential for success. What are some of those, things, those initial challenges you faced at the beginning?
When we were doing, before we started doing payment, I mean, we're doing payments now. When we're doing that delivery thing, one of the issues were this is not possible. It was the impossibility factor that we got in. I mean, I will go to a restaurant and I mean, I didn't come empty-handed. There's a bike man, there's a bicycle rider in the back of the car. There's a bicycle there. There's a bag. Everything is fully kitted, and I'm ready to do a test. And I'll be pitching them, and they'll be like, is this possible? Are you sure this is not going to? I mean, the issue. So we focused on food, and their majority of the issue was they will spill my food. That was the major issue. They were going to spill their food, spill. So they were not. It wasn't. Some were concerned about the speed, like, oh, would it be fast enough? And I told them this is a community delivery system. You're not supposed to be sending a bicycle person to go 100 kilometers. Even cars will not go there in time. It's supposed to be something 10 kilometer around you. I mean, you are a business that sells food. Nobody wants to order for food and orders it from 42 kilometers away. No, you go to the nearest restaurant around you. And that's the idea. Community delivery system, last mile logistics. And I mean, we have to explain all that to them for them to get it. Some still wouldn't get it. So they had issues with speed. They had issue with spillage. They had issues with, how do I call it? Like it was too new. Sometimes if something was, if we don't understand a thing, we try to cancel it. And that's what we got. Those are the three initial things. It was only one person that talked about success. Like, I like this idea, but how do you tend to scale it? How do you make it uh, what you can reciprocate across the country? And we had a plan for that, because we were the first. There was no benchmark. There was nobody doing it. So we're going to say, oh, this person did it before. So we're copying from that. So we're supposed to be the successful one to create the market. So we were forced to try different routes, and we got them right. But then you need to then distribute that into different, and that costs a lot of money. And that was where all of the, you know, the that was when we started thinking about our exit, because like if we're gonna do this thing, we need a lot of money, and at that time they weren't giving delivery a lot of money back then. So yes, those were the initial obstacles we faced when we did, our own logistics, and of course we wanted to remain green, the whole green ecosystem thingy and all that. I'm a big fan of that. So I was like, let's maintain this and make it solid. So yeah, those are like the things I'll point out were the initial obstacles.
Okay, thank you. The other thing I want to talk about is, you talk about the impossibility of it. Was there a point, was there a time that you doubted the idea? Because I think
I
that's
mean, we
also
had
the thing. Like when people challenge your assumptions about the business, did you ever doubt it?
we had the funny thing about that, we had no doubt. I mean, we were certain this was going to be a big hit in the industry. We were certain. We
Wow.
had no doubt. And we've been proven correct. It's still prevalent. You see 1,000 bicycle riders in Lagos alone from all the different food vendors, all of them, you know them. So we had no doubt in our minds that this was going to be a big hit. But like I said, sometimes first mover. It's not always the advantageous move.
Can you talk about this first mover advantage thing? Because it's like we're asking people to come up with new ideas, right? But there's also that challenge of like, I'm going to be the scapegoat. How do you marry the two? How
You
do you navigate both?
are, you are always the scapegoat if you are the first mover. That means you are going to learn, you are going to do all the failure, you are going to
Mm.
pass through all the obstacle, you are going to hear all the rejections first, you are going to burn all your own money first before every other person comes along, and they will use your stories as example of different routes to not go about it. And so I might spend times 10 of what they will spend to get same success because I'm the one that led the road. You see, this is that thing where they say leaders are the ones that bear most of the brunt. You are the one that's leading in front. The pressure is on you to deliver. And if you don't deliver, there's a, okay, don't follow that. So I mean, but sometimes it can favor you because you can get early into the market, establish your ground. But sometimes a bigger boy will come and they can splash on your people, and then your loyal people you think you have is all of a sudden they are now husbands of many wives, right? They have many people that they are chasing. So it becomes that way when you are the person going ahead. I mean, Google was not the first search engine in the world. Mention three other search engines that you know. You barely know them. You only know Google, right? There are so many AI companies right now. It's different for AI because there's so many of them. They all came about at almost similar time. It's not a battle of who can burn the most money. You can see what's happening. They just keep burning money. Same thing is going to happen with robotics. With it's happening in the crypto. So many industries will come and people will. So first movers are not really. You are just the potential. You are the initial poster boys, right? If you are lucky, you do well, you get acquired, or you do something else, or you have more money to do more. But in most cases, maybe not so much. But yeah, I mean, there are always opportunities to be the better guys, but those are just things that you have no control over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me talk about this, and probably this is kind of some of my last question. What are the things that
Okay?
people romanticize about entrepreneurship that you don't believe in? Because there's a discourse online about people earning 100,000 naira salary and going to work and versus staying at home and being idle. And everybody now sees. I tell people that one of my indicators for inflation and for that the economy is getting worse is that almost every street has a new business, right? Everybody's just
Mm.
tearing out their savings and starting off new businesses. What are some of the things that people romanticize about entrepreneurship that is really bad, that it's not helpful, or that defeats the entire ethos of entrepreneurship is like helping the community, building out the economy, right? Building out the small economy, but like everything has been bastardized these days. What are your thoughts on that?
They think they are now free, and then they think they are now the boss. But that's like a misconception. You are not free. You are now more entitled and more responsible for people that you don't even know. That's the issue. You think you are freer. You're not freer. I don't have time. I don't even have a weekend in most cases, right? So, entrepreneurship is not the rosy bed that people think it is, but it just allows you to express yourself. It allows you to do what you really want to do if you are the problem solver, right? Also, thinking you are the boss of many people. Boss of who? You have clients and users that are depending on you. So you are not the boss of anybody. You are the chief servant officer of everybody. If you are an entrepreneur, in the real definition of it, you're supposed to be serving these people, delivering value to them, ensuring they are, catered to because they pay you for services. I mean, honestly, remote workers, freelancers are even more suited because, I mean, they are working for somebody else and the person is paying for their skills. And that, in some way, might be risky, but you have no worries because you're just going to deliver on the project, earn money, and go your way. But the business owner, you are responsible for everything: people's welfare, the salary, the pension, the HMO, the office equipment, the internet, everything, the match. We're going for this event, the sponsorship. you are responsible for adults. You're like their parents in one way or the other. So it is not that rosy bed that has been preached to everybody. Though it is a fun thing to do if you are risk savvy, if you are the person that want to take risk, you want to do things that you enjoy. It is quite flexible, of course. It's flexible. We resume at different times. Do we even resume? I don't have a resumption time. There's always work around the clock. If there's an issue now, I'll be on fire. I'll be looking for solutions for that kind of thing. It's why I like having co-founders so that you can spread that responsibility and that risk. I pity solo founders. I pity them a lot. It's hard. It's like being a superstar and looking for trusted people. You will not find them. But if you already have those people before the fame, you know who to work with. So right, there's always a lot of misconception about that flashy lifestyle that is being portrayed, on the media, that, oh, because I'm an entrepreneur, oh, Santorini today, Marrakesh tomorrow, and the ban in 3 days. Leave all that story aside. you know there are some social enterprise that pay for all those trips sometimes if you are in that space where you do impact project alone. People travel on their dime. Don't get swapped into that storyline of, oh yeah. I mean, there are some workers that travel everywhere. That's their job. They just travel. They have I know people that they are working for people and they just travel. They've gone to more places than I have ever imagined. They just say, oh, why this thing today? Oh, why? I was like, what are you doing about? Is their lifestyle now? So it's not a criteria for anybody to say, oh, I want to be this. So let me start a business. Then you start selling lipstick on IG and you think you're going to travel the whole world. Sometimes you need to be realistic with some of these things and don't put yourself in a bad situation. You can grow, you can become something, but you need to just understand where you are and where you want to get to. Take them a step at a time.
You for sharing this. You really shared, the realities of entrepreneurship. I think that's the thing. I think I have this thesis ongoing around the dangers of social media. I think is really the lifestyle thing for me. It's never the other things are like it's your choice, right? But I think
Hmm?
every day we are consuming content around lifestyle. I think I'm not sure I have any beef with lifestyle content creators, but I feel like everything is curated. So there's this curated thing. They don't vlog throughout the month, but they only vlog during their travel. You're not sure how they arrived at this morning, but you're feeling left out because you haven't traveled anywhere this year.
Yeah,
You haven't traveled anywhere this year. And you are in this comparison with people who don't know you and people who you
yeah.
don't actually know, honestly. And
Honest.
and
That's
we
what.
start off things. Oh, thank you so much. And we start off things at that, we end up paying the consequences of it. I think anyone listening to this we really need to think twice about what is really entrepreneurship. And I think the definition of entrepreneurship in Nigeria is just different. I saw one program, Smithan is giving away money. If you have
Hmm.
any idea, I was like, but is that what entrepreneurship is? People have made it their business writing grants just to collect
Yeah,
money. That is not that is not what entrepreneurship is. And I think we have bastardized it in this country.
a
There
lot.
was something else you said around co-founder. I think we're almost at time, but it would be good to hear your thoughts on this. Um, how do you pick? I know there was an idea even for this, for this community. I thought about like having someone else, right? Because I'm doing multiple things. How do
Yeah.
you pick the right people, and even where do you find them? I think this is even my own personal question. Where do you find the right type of people to share? I know for once they have to align with your values, but most times that's difficult. But how do you find the right type of people, and how do you make concession on values? I feel like that would be my ending question.
So I think sometimes a lot of ego trips are why you can't find co-founders that are suitable. Many people want to be number one, and that's one of the issues. And I tell them, number one of what? Of a CAC document, the PowerPoint. Hmm? and your several events at the back of your shoes or whatever car that you drive, what is the value behind whatever you are doing? You see, so sometimes I think if you're very observant, just speak to the co-founders of companies, the COOs, the CMOs that are co-founders. You understand leadership from a very different perspective because they've realized they have a skill set and they realize they can build alone, but how far would that go? Can we build with somebody else that also has a vision or a drive? You know, it takes someone that is a leader to identify someone else that is a leader that has a drive. They might have a better drive than you, but you are more strategic than them. And then that combination eventually becomes a firepower for success. But that's what people don't get. If you put the same people with the same drive, it will crash. I'm not saying you don't have equal drive. I'm saying there are different approaches to what you do. Maybe a plan, right? They are more of a just do, right? So you say, okay, don't worry, let's just do that, but let's just do it in a more strategic way so we don't burn and crash. So everybody thinks through the process and eventually you will rub off on them. They will become a better person because of your own strategy or your own way of working. And that's what makes co founders work. You have to complement each other. You can't be saying yes, 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 yes for everything one person says. You are not their co-founder. You are just there for register marking. You have to be able to disagree with them. I mean, I disagree with my co-founders regularly, and they know that if it doesn't work, I will tell you no, and they will now come back and say, okay, what works, and they will rejig it, and then so we have gotten that dynamics where we can say no, no for 3 hours, and then we'll say yes in the last 15 minutes, and it's okay, that's it, let's go. We already gotten it. So you need to find someone that also understands that positions. Uh, Everybody has put themselves to be a founder of things. So if you're looking for a co-founder, you only find founders who also want to build something, and they are not willing to let go of that and bring in their skills to join force with you. So you won't find any. But there are people out there who actually really want to work. I mean, I always pray that those that are genuine, meet those that are really building something worthwhile, and together they can eventually build something that the world can actually see and can actually use. So yeah, the search for co-founder is a big issue. You might not see, it will still be an issue 10 years from now, but those that have been able to find it before they build, they are the ones that are lucky because they found someone that is really, really into the project and can really give for the project and then make that thing become successful. Not ego, no unnecessary selfish drive. Everyone understands level playing ground. Everyone understands everyone is supposed to be sorted. Everyone understands we're all together in this. It's not like, oh my, I do, I do. You need to understand it's a we. Oh, we're doing this together. I mean, you might be the CEO, they might be the CMO or CEO or whatever. Carrying them along with every decision makes you better. They will show you the better ways to do things. And both of you, three, four, five, however it might be, you will do something wonderful. I usually cite the example of the founders of Piggyvest. A lot of people didn't know them. Piggyvest is not their first idea, you know. Far back as 2014, I think, they had an idea called something like Push CV. It was very popular on Twitter. There were like 6 or 7 of them, and they pushed it. They got to a point where they had done all this work, and there was nobody. Now they had ranked everybody. The next thing was, oh yeah, give them job now. That's how I met them. They came to my office where I was working at that time. I was working for a recruitment company, and I met all of them. I was like, oh wow! In my mind, I was like, this is the peak of this thing. It will crash after now, not because it was supposed to, but there was no other thing to do. If you have done a ranking, the next thing is to start giving those ranks opportunities. If you can't do that, you have reached your peak. And they were smart. They pivoted to piggy bank almost a few months after that time. Look at them, they are still all together. They had like 6 other products aside piggy bank. People didn't even know that. There were some other products that they all closed down. They just kept on the piggy. And now it's Piggyverse. It's one of the biggest companies in Nigeria now. Over 10 years now, 2016 till now. So you see, Co-founders helped bring that to light. They were going to share all the worries, all the risk, all the issues. If you have a headache today, you can call everybody in the room and say, I have a headache. They will share the headache. But if it's only you, you might die early. I pray you don't die early if you're a founder running it alone. But it's a crazy work. But yes, co-founders, they are a lifesaver.
I enjoyed today's session and I sneaked in some of my personal questions too. And I liked what you said about you need to think about, you know, long-term thinking, people to share the highs and the lows. And I think it's also Buffett that talks about it. Why don't I own 1/10 of the pie? Why don't I own the entire pie? Right? And share the worries, the challenges, and yes, the wins. But then what of the other side? And I think we only talk about the wins, forgetting that there will be
Mm,
worries, there will be brainstorming your ideas with people who you are all aligned on the same thing.
true.
And two heads are better than one, right? We need to think about it that way. And you also touched on the ego trips, right? You know, comes along with some of these things, but understand that they are supposed to. You need to find people that complement you, and it's a level playing field. Despite the rules, as long as they are co-founders, you must be able to be open, share your ideas with them, and you will have the best business. I believe in long-term building, right? You've told us today that we can pivot as much as possible, but make sure you survive enough to get your winning product. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A round of applause. A round of applause. Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for encouraging us today, motivating us, and kind of sharing your experiences, right? And I think this is the key point from my session. Pivot as often as you can to be able to survive and stay in the game long enough, but understand that there is suffering. Mix your delusion with your reality. So, but bear that in mind that you're going to suffer, but keep your head above the water long enough for you to survive and make the change you want to make. Thank you so much, Ayodeji. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Any final words before we close the session?
I mean, like I always tell people, whatever you do, ensure that you have a real reason behind it. Because people will always come back to ask you, oh, why did you do that? Why did you do this? Don't just jump into things without thinking it through. That few seconds, that few minutes you take to think through the decision you're about to make might be the reason you succeed or the reason you fail. That's it from me.
Thank you so much, Ayodeji. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. We don't want to keep you more than we promised. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let us know in the chat what you have learned. Let us know. It has been an amazing session, I think, for me. Ayodeji has a lot of experience when it comes to tech space and also building new, and working within corporations. And his opening statement was really around like, if you are in a corporation, an institution, think about this as an opportunity for you to learn, to network, and try to work on projects. I'm a believer in working on new projects. Work on projects; those help accumulate your experiences. And when you're going to start up, think twice, right? Don't romanticize entrepreneurship. I think we have romanticized entrepreneurship enough. Don't romanticize entrepreneurship, but if you're going to go into it, understand that there will be some measure of hard. You need to learn to do hard things. It's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, but it will be worthwhile in the end as long as you survive. And he I think one of my thoughts here around is pivot. I know we talk about doubling down. When your goods are down, double down on your product, believe in your product. But they just give us another perspective today, which is know when to pivot, right? You need to survive, because if you survive tomorrow, you live to fight another day. I think that's the word. You live to fight another day. So make sure that you survive enough, to work on your new project, on your next project. Thank you so much, everyone. It has been an amazing session. Let us know if you are watching this stream, wherever you're watching it from. Let us know what you learned from this session. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know if there are other questions. Let us know if there is someone else you want us to invite to share their thoughts on. We look forward to seeing you another Saturday. Cheers.